Welcome to Ocean of Awareness. Close your eyes for a moment, or simply let them rest on the horizon. Take a breath, not a forced breath, but a natural one. You have come here because you are tired of trembling. You have come here because you have realized that despite your bank accounts, your relationships, and your walls of security, a subtle, cold shiver remains in the center of your heart. Today, we dive into the most misunderstood space of human existence, the ending of fear. But we are not here to learn how to be brave. Bravery is just fear with a mask on. We are here to look at the wisdom of Osho, to understand that fear is not something to be conquered, but something to be dissolved in the light of your own presence. You are not afraid of the unknown. How can you be afraid of something you do not know? That is a logical impossibility. You are actually afraid of losing the known. You are afraid of the shore disappearing as you sail into the deep. On this channel, Ocean of Awareness, we don't teach you how to build stronger anchors, we teach you how to fall in love with the waves. Fear is a shadow, and as Osho reminds us, you cannot fight a shadow. You cannot push it away with a sword. You can only bring in a candle. That candle is your awareness. The moment you are fully here, the future, the breeding ground of all anxiety, simply ceases to exist. In this journey today, we will explore why we are more afraid of love than of hate. We will look into the eyes of the ultimate terror, death, and realize it is the greatest fiction ever sold to humanity. We will learn that insecurity is not a curse, but the very pulse of a life that is truly alive. If you are seeking a life of safety, you are seeking the graveyard. But if you are seeking a life of ecstasy, you must be willing to step into the fire of the now. Let us begin this exploration. Let us sink into the silence. Let us move from the trembling of the mind to the stillness of the ocean of awareness. Movement I, the mirage of the mind. The journey into the ending of fear begins with a radical realization: fear is not an entity, it is a shadow. In the vision of Osho, we must understand that you cannot fight a shadow. If you try to wrestle with a shadow, you will be defeated, not because the shadow is powerful, but because it is non-existent. Most of us spend our entire lives trying to become fearless, but the very search for fearlessness is a byproduct of fear itself. We must stop trying to cultivate courage and instead start cultivating awareness. Fear is like darkness in a room. You cannot throw darkness out of the window. You cannot push it away with your hands. If the room is dark, you don't fight the dark, you simply bring in a small candle. The moment the light appears, where is the darkness? It didn't go anywhere, it was never there to begin with. It was simply an absence. Fear is the absence of your own presence. When you are not home in your own being, fear moves in and occupies the empty space. To understand the anatomy of this trembling, we must distinguish between biological intelligence and psychological fear. When you see a snake on a path and you jump back, that is not fear, that is intelligence. It is the body's natural mechanism for self-preservation. But when you sit in your room, safe and warm, and you worry about a snake that might be on the path tomorrow, that is a sickness. That is psychological fear. This type of fear is always a what if. It is always about a future that has not yet arrived. You are suffering something that doesn't exist. If you are suffering the non-existent, there is no way to fix it except to return to the existent, the present moment. In the absolute, now, there is never any fear. There may be pain, there may be challenges, but fear requires the gap of time. By narrowing your focus to the single tick of the clock, you starve the fear of the time it needs to breathe. Movement 2. The ego's great defense. Why does the mind cling to fear so desperately? It is because fear is the food of the ego. The ego is a social fiction. It is a collection of labels, degrees, bank balances, and the opinions of others. Because the ego is fake, it is inherently fragile. It lives in a constant state of panic, like a house of cards in a storm. Osho explains that the ego is afraid of everything that is real. It is afraid of love because love requires you to disappear. It is afraid of meditation because silence exposes the ego's emptiness. And it is ultimately afraid of death because death is the final dissolution of the mask. We spend our lives building walls, financial walls, emotional walls, religious walls, hoping to feel secure. But these walls do not keep fear out, they only cage us in. The more you try to protect your identity, the more afraid you become of losing it. The ultimate paradox of human existence is that we are more afraid of our light than our darkness. We are afraid of our own potential because to step into greatness is to step out of the crowd. The crowd gives you a sense of safety, even if that safety is a prison. To end fear is to be willing to be nobody. When you are nobody, who can hurt you? When you have no image to protect, no reputation to uphold, and no self to defend, fear simply evaporates. This is the state of the hollow bamboo that Osho often speaks of. If you are a solid, heavy log, the wind will knock you over. But if you are a hollow bamboo, the wind passes through you and becomes a song. The goal is not to be strong in the way a wall is strong, but to be empty in the way the sky is empty. The sky is never afraid of the clouds. It lets them come and lets them go, remaining untouched and vast. Movement 3. Falling in love with insecurity. We have been taught that security is the goal of life. We want a secure job, a secure marriage, and a secure belief system. But Osho reminds us that the only place where there is total security is the graveyard. Only the dead are safe because they can no longer change, grow, or fall. To be alive is to be insecure. Life is a flux. It is a wild river that never stays the same for 2 moments. If you seek security, you are seeking death. To end fear, you must change your relationship with insecurity. Instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as the very pulse of life. Insecurity means that anything is possible. It means that the future is not a fixed track, but a wide-open ocean. When you embrace insecurity, fear turns into wonder. Think of a child. A child is insecure. They have no money, no power, no knowledge, yet they are full of wonder and joy. Why? Because they haven't yet learned to demand that life be certain. They are fluid. To end fear is to regain that childhood fluidity, but with the awareness of an adult. You must learn to die to each moment. Do not carry the yesterday into today. If you carry the past, you are carrying a corpse, and the smell of that corpse is what you call fear. When you live totally in the moment, you are always new. And the new being is never afraid because it has no known to protect. Movement 4. The final awakening. The final step in the ending of fear is the realization that you are the witness, not the mind. When fear arises in the body, the heart beats faster, the palms sweat, the stomach knots. Simply watch it. Do not say, I am afraid. Say, I am watching fear. The moment you create that small distance between the watcher and the watched, the power of fear is broken. You are the mountain, and fear is just a storm passing over the peak. The mountain doesn't try to stop the storm, nor does it get swept away by it. It simply stands there, rooted in its own being. As we come to the end of this exploration, remember that the ending of fear is not a destination you reach, it is a realization of where you already are. We have traveled through the corridors of the mind, looked into the eyes of the ego, and stood at the edge of the ultimate unknown. And what have we found? We have found that the one who was afraid was never you. The one who was afraid was merely a collection of memories, a bundle of nerves, a story told by a frightened society. You are the stillness that surrounds the storm. You are the ocean of awareness that remains undisturbed, no matter how many waves of anxiety crash upon the surface. Osho's final gift to us is the understanding that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. If you try to solve life, you will create fear, because solutions are never certain. But if you live life as a mystery, insecurity becomes its greatest beauty. As you turn off this video and step back into the world, do not take a set of instructions with you. Instead, take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice that in this very microsecond, you are safe. You are breathing. You are alive. That is enough. The fear may return, the mind is an old habit, but next time it knocks on your door, do not fight it. Do not hide from it. Open the door, invite it in, and sit with it. Watch it with the eyes of a friend. You will find that when fear is watched with love, it loses its poison. It melts into the light of your presence. Thank you for diving deep with us today. If this journey has brought even a moment of stillness to your heart, you have already begun the ending of fear. Stay aware. Stay silent. Stay in the flow. This has been Ocean of Awareness.